begin the other day, we laid the foundation by knowing the 8 laws of health. And just as we mentioned that we have 8 laws of health. And I want someone who will remind us of what we said about the 8 laws of health. And I can remember we also talked deep and we expounded in the 8th law of health, which is trust in God. Can someone just remind me the laws of health as we begin this second session? We will just, yes, sister. Nutrition was the first one. And the second one? Yes, Aliton. Exercise. The third one? Water. The fourth one? Sunshine. And the fifth one? Who can remind me the fifth one? Who can remind me the fifth one? Yes. Temperance. The sixth one? Yes, at the corner. Air. Rest. And then last one? Trust in God. So those are the 8 laws of health that we studied the other time. But today I would like us to take us from another topic that is now disease prevention cure. Disease prevention and cure. And we will look into details that why are many people today are suffering. What we must understand that for in order to have good health, we must have good blood, because we know that the blood is the current of life. But if we eat food that is not digested into the system, we impure our blood. And we know that acidic blood, it is the source of acidic blood can allow bacteria, the survival of bacteria. But now, in order to have good health, we must do what? We must have good blood. But how can we have good blood? Now, just from the beginning, that is the topic when there is no doctor, way forward. In this session, we will be looking several ways that is going to help us maintain good health. Now, just in that second slide, we can just see that today many people are eating to the grave. Or are you eating your way to the grave? Now that is a question. That today many people, as they eat to the grave. Why? Because today many people are eating foods that are not digested into the system. But we understand very well that we take food if we take food that is not digested into the system, number one, we are going to poison blood. So in that picture, I don't know if it can be seen clearly, but we have several foods here that people normally do take. Number one, we have fats. And these fats, we find them from animal products and even any other products. For example, there are many who are taking deep fried foods. But we know that if we take deep fried foods, they contain a lot of fats. Why? Because when chips is deep fried, it consumes a lot of oil, and all this oil is taken to the system. Now the body will be having a lot of cholesterol. Then number two, you will see there we have bread. Number three, we have refined flour. These are the kind of foods that if people take, it destroys the system. In just slide number 3, we want to begin by understanding what is the disease. And by understanding what is the disease, we will be looking into details to see what are the major causes of the disease in this world that many today that we are living today. Because in the book of 62, paragraph 1, it says that all people in the world are sick. Why? Because people are going against the eight laws of health. As we understand that the first eight laws of health, which is nutrition, we must consider what we put into the system. Not only considering, but also we must eat food that is going to rebuild the system. Now, let us define what is the disease. In the book Ministry of Healing, page 127, paragraph 1, we want to just define what is the disease. And after defining what is the disease, we will look many major causes of the disease. Now, in this book, 127, paragraph 1 reads, many transgress the laws of health through ignorance. As we understand very well, that many people are ignorant about the eight laws of health. So you can just find someone eating and drinking because he doesn't know that if eating and drinking is not good with the system. But there are those who have known the eight laws of health, but they still go against the laws. But the greater number know better than they do. They need to be impressed with the importance of making their knowledge a guide of life. The physician has many opportunities, both of imparting a knowledge of health principles and showing the importance of putting them into practice. Now, the physician have a great work and a great opportunity to impart the laws of health that each and every person must understand why we should have good health, because God as the creator who made man, he was willing that man was to be in good health. Can someone read from the book of 3 John, verse 2? So that we understand that God is really willing that we might have a better life, not of diseases. Just as we mentioned last time, that disease was brought by what? By sin. As sin entered into the world, suffering began, and human race began to become sick. Can someone read that one? Someone can have a microphone and read the book of 3 John, verse 2. So that we understand that God, as the author of human being, needs us to be in good health. Anyone there, please? It says,
All right, beloved,
beloved,
I wish above all things
I wish above all things
that thou mayest prosper and be in health,
uh,
even as thy soul prospereth.
so God is in need that we be in good what? In good health. Let us continue. Just we are in the book of Ministry of Healing, page 127, paragraph 1. The physician has so many opportunities, both imparting a knowledge of health, principle, and showing the importance of putting them in practice. By right instruction, he can do much to correct evils that are working untold harm. So what we must understand that people must have knowledge in health principle. So it continue by saying people need to be taught that drugs do not cure disease. It is true that they sometimes support present relief. No, sorry. I just Can someone finish for me this Ministry of Healing, page 127? There is a part is not capturing here that is talking about the disease which I wanted to define. 127, just that part, the determine saying talking about the disease. Ministry of Healing, can we be there? Page 127, it says, okay, read. It says, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Now, as we determine what is disease, I want you to underline and write that disease is what? is an effort of nature so as we will be violating the laws as we will be violating the eight laws of health, what we must understand that our body will now work again to restore into what? To health. So disease is an effort for the body to remove excess even impurities. So we can have that meaning from MH 127 paragraph 1. Having known what is the disease, now we want to go to another thing. Because when disease comes, many people will seek for what? For medication. Now, before seeking for medication, we must understand that what causes what? What causes the disease? We must have the knowledge of what causes the disease, the prevention, and the what? And the cure. But now, for us to live in good health, we must have good blood. That one we'll read from the book Counsels on Diet, page 91, paragraph 3. For in order to have good life or good health without disease, we must have what? Good blood. Can someone read that one? Counsels on Diet, page 91, paragraph 3. Huh? Counsels on Diet, page 91, paragraph 3. It is not captured yet, but we just read it. It says, in order to have good health, we must have good blood. For the blood is the current of life. It prepares waste and nourishes the body. So, when supplied with the proper food elements, so number one, we must understand that the food we eat make the blood in what? In the body. Ministry of Healing, page 297, paragraph 1. Ministry of Healing, page 297, paragraph 1. It says, uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. That is 97, paragraph 1. Okay, we can also read in page 271, paragraph 1, that has been projected there. To have good blood, we must eat well. So, for us to have good blood, we must do what? We must eat well. In order to have good health, we must have good blood. For the blood is the current of life. It repairs waste and nourishes the body when supplied with the proper food elements. And when cleansed and vitalized by contact with pure air, it carries life and vigor to every part of the system. The more perfect the circulation, the better will this work be accomplished. So for us to have good health, we must do what? We must have a diet that is going to nourish the what? The system. We can just mention the foods that can help us nourish the system. Because we understand that the body, there are kinds of food that if well taken into the body, they supply the necessities and elements that are required from the body. Number one, from the food that God gave man, we can mention or we can list some of foods that if when taken is going to make a good blood in order to have a good health. Number one, from the book of Genesis 1 verse 29, which kind of food did God give man? Grains, seeds, fruits, cereals, nuts. So we understand very well that God gave man what? A diet. And the diet that God gave man, it was to help man to have or develop God's system. So let us continue. In just next slide, just in the next slide, Ministry of Healing, page 126, it begins with people. People need to be taught that drugs do not cure diseases. It is true that they sometimes afford present relief and the patient appear to recover as a result of their use. We understand very well that if a person becomes sick even now, where will he go to? He will go to hospital to seek what? Drugs. And what we must understand that we need to be taught that drugs never cure what? Diseases. Because many people today, they are suffering because they are not giving the body the right treatment. Many people rush to take the drugs, but drugs are not what? Drugs are not solution to our life. That's why the major topic is when there is no doctor. What we must understand that if people are not taught on the right principle of living, many people are going to eat, but as they eat, they are not building the system with the correct food, but they put into the system food that is going to make what? Bad blood. So it continues to say, it is true that they sometimes afford present relief. In many occasions, someone can take drugs, just as we read that disease is an effort of the nature to try fighting or to try removing waste or remove toxins out of the system. But now when the drugs are introduced to the system, they tend to stop the process of removing what? The toxins. It continues to say, and the patient appear to recover as the result of their use. This because nature has sufficient vital force to expel the poison and to correct the condition that caused the disease. Health is recovered in spite of the drug. But in most cases, the drug only changes the form and location of the disease. So what we must understand with the disease and prevention and cure, we must understand what causes the disease or what brings the disease. If we understand this very well, and we understand how the system works, how organs of our body work, and we will live in a life that not many people are living today. But in most cases, the drug only changes the form and location of the diseases. That's why those who have been taking the drugs, they start someone at a period or occasion, inaanza tu kama mtu anasikia anaumwa na goti, arthritis. Akiendelea na kuchukua dawa, high blood pressure. So the drugs tend to relocate the disease from the head to toes. But in most cases, the drug only changes the form and location of the disease. Often, the effect of the poison seems to be overcome for a time, but the results remain in the system and work greater harm at some later period. So, for us in this time, we have a great work to go to the world and preach the message. And we understand that the great work that Christ did much when he was on the earth, he did much more than what? Christ did what than what? Healing than preaching. To mean we live at a time that many people have gone against the 8 laws of health, and they don't understand their life well. And even to the people they are going to take drugs from, do not understand how the system works. But if we understand how our system works, we will not put even a single grain of drugs into the system. So it is our work and duty to go and teach people that drugs are not what? Solutions. The next slide. That one we have read. Yeah, that one also we have looked in. Now we want to start by number one, things that harm the system. we have talked about drug. We want to have more explanation why drug is not good with the system. Because we understand that the drugs that many people take, they are made from what? The drugs that people take are made from chemicals. And when they are put into the system, those chemicals that have been used to make drugs, they enfeeble the system. Now, drugs number one. Drugs never cure diseases, and they only change the form and location. That one we have read. Let us move forward. I think you are also there. Very many lives have been sacrificed by physicians administering drugs for unknown disease. So what we want us to understand that today that many people call those people that are called physicians, they are only witch doctors which practice the sorcery. Because we know that in drug medication, it is full of what? Sorcery. Because we are being told that a person who understands how the system works from the brain even to the dose cannot put drug into the system. Very many lives have been sacrificed by physicians administering drugs for unknown disease. Today, there are many people who have died because administering drugs for unknown what? And unknown diseases. Today, someone can go to the hospitals and is trying to explain the signs of disease that he feel he have, and now the doctor will just do what? Prescribe a drug. But no prescription should be done if we don't understand the what? The cause of the disease. No prescription of any drug should be given if the cause is not what? Ascertained. To mean, to give the body the right treatment, the cause must be what? The cause must be ascertained. Then the right principle must be imparted so that the body might cleanse itself again. They have no real knowledge of exact disease which afflict the patients. Is that true? That many doctors today, they don't have the real knowledge in the disease they are prescribing the drug to? Is that true? It is true. But physicians are expected to know in a moment. Mgonjwa anaingia tu hospitali hivi, yeye amejua, mgonjwa atajua, daktari amejua shida zake zote. Hata akisema naumwa na kichwa, hiyo daktari amejua dawa yenye atampatia. But not, that one is not the right way. As they understood the disease perfectly, they are considered by impatient friends and by the sick as incompetent physicians. Therefore, to gratify erroneous opinions of sick and their friends, medicine must be administered. So the first thing that a patient is expecting when he gets into hospitals, that a drug must be what? Must be administered. But failing to know that he must know the cause of his what? His diseases. Today, when you have an headache, you must understand the cause. What causes this headache? Did I not take enough water into the system? Because a lot of water is needed to the system to do the varieties of work that the body does. But when we get there, the drug is administered, but the cause is not ascertained. So, what have you done there? Nothing. Because seems like there is a kibuyu in a certain corner yenye inatoa maji, alafu wewe unaenda unamop tu hapo, lakini hiyo kibuyu yenye inatoa maji hujafanya nini? Hujatoa. So as time continues, the water will still overflowing in the floor. To me now, for this water to stop flowing in the floor, you must take out this container that is leaking the water, and that's, you will now have a better solution, and the water will not be what? Overspreading in the floor. It's likewise the same with the disease. That if there is a major cause of disease today, as we speak of meat, and we know very well that the major cause of diseases today, they are kind of foods, they are kind of how people dress. So if we know the major causes of our diseases, and now we are going to have the better what? The better solutions. The physicians themselves are often convinced that they have used powerful medicine for another physician. In many times, when you go to a physician, you will be claiming that why is not this drug that you gave me is not working. He will just convince you that there is a powerful one, and you sasa ni elfu tatu. It can be 3,000. You know, I gave you for 1,500, but so this of 3,000 can help you better. But you continue taking drugs that way, but as the drugs are continue injected into the system, and they continue enfabling the what? The organs. So that is the drugs. You will get time to continue reading in that page. Let us move to another page. We have we have read that drug never cure diseases. Now in the second paragraph with the white writings, it says, it is just a repetition, sorry. You will just write this book and we will read it in that part. That is 4SA, page 134, paragraph 1. You will read it up to page 139. It is still speak the same. So having known that the drugs are not good with the system, we want to see major organs that suffer if people are left to continue with the medication that they are getting today. It says, when drugs are introduced into the system, for a time they may seem to have a beneficial effect. A change may take place, but the disease is not cured. It will manifest itself in some other form. In nature's effort to expel the drug from the system, intense suffering is sometimes caused the patient, and the disease which the drug was given to cure may disappear but only to reappear in a new form, such as skin disease, ulcers, painful disease, joints, and sometimes in a more dangerous and deadly form. The liver, heart, and brain are frequently affected by drugs. So that is education that we should make many to understand that education in drugs, number one, the parts of the brain that have the heavy burdens, because we understand that in the system we have liver, and the function of the liver, it acts as a sieve, so that it sieves anything that enters the body. And we know that heart helps to pump blood to various parts of the body. And we understand that the brain is the engine of the system. And often all these organs are burdened with disease, and the unfortunate subjects, if they live, are invalid for life, wherein dragging out are miserable. So that's what's happened. That if someone takes the drug for a certain disease, the disease will keep on reappearing in different forms. And now the body will be in danger because the all systems or the all armies will be at sleep. Number one, we understand that in the body there are white blood cells, and the function of the white blood cells that they help to do what? To fight diseases. But what about when the white blood cells are not there? Because these kinds of drugs, they contain a lot of chemicals that if someone continue with them daily, number one, they interfere with what? With the white blood cells. And now in this occasion, the body will not be fighting the diseases because its army are not there. For example, in this our country, when the policemen which are making order are not there, what can happen? When the polices that are making that maintain order and peace, what can happen? That's also with the body. That if the white blood cells that fight the diseases are not there, the body will remain in a situation that now it cannot deal with what? The disease. The next slide. The endless variety of medicines in the market, the numerous advertisement of the new drugs and mixtures. We understand that in TVs, in radios, these drugs are being what? They are being advertised. Utaona sona moja, those kinds of medicines, they are being advertised. All of which, as they say, do wonderful cures. And many people will say that this in the time of advertisement, even that at the time that Kaluma was being advertised, Kaluma number what? Kaluma namba moja, that fights the what? The pain. So they are being advertised in a way that many people are impressed to go for them. Do wonderful cures. Kill hundreds where they benefit one. So when these drugs are being advertised, they kill hundreds but benefit what? One. Those who are sick are not patient because many people, when they are sick, they are not what? They are not patient. Even today, if you are sick, many are not patient with the situation their body are, with the situation that the body is taking to expel impurities and toxins. But they will be in hurry so that they get well. And that is the problem. That's why many people have lost their life than few have been helped. Because many people are in hurry. Many people will look for drugs because drugs when enter into the system, it will stop the body from removing impurities, and now the body armies will be dealing with the poison that has entered the what? The system. To mean the drugs are made in a such a way with the chemicals that if they enter into the system, the all body armies will leave the work of removing impurities and they deal with what? With that poison. And at such a time, many people will say, this might I now have a relief from this headache that I was having. To mean the body has stopped the work that it was doing to what? To attack the poison that entered into the system. Now, if the body will continue in this state, when these impurities will not be removed, what will happen is this. The body, the toxins will overburden the organs of the system. It continues to say, all the medicines they take only make their recovery more hopeless, yet they keep dosing and continue to grow weaker until they die. Some will have medicine at all events. Siku hizi watu wanatembea na dawa kwa mfuko. Akienda matanga, akona dawa kwa mfuko. Akilala, akona dawa kwa mfuko. Akikula, they have these drugs because the work that the body needed to, the work that body was to do to remove impurities, the body has failed to do that. So the only thing that the drug now is the sustenance of the life of this person. It continued to say, then left them take these artful mixtures and the various daily poison upon their own responsibilities. How many are seeing a necessity that we must teach people to leave drug medication alone? How many? Wengine wanasema people to continue with the drug. How many are agreeing that we must teach people to leave this drug medication because it is not the right method to treat the body? Let me continue. Now, in that slide, just the next slide, we see there the drug medication, which come from the purpose. Sorry, there is a H there, but yes, drug medication is a witchcraft from the papacy. We are being told that there is never an expensive business like drug. Watu wenye wanauza dawa ni kama wanatajirika sana, kwa sababu they continue, yani sijui niseme aje. There are certain drugs, I don't know whether they are in the categories, because utapata kuna ya 1000, kuna ya 2000. The most poisonous one you will find it is 5000. Now sometimes it depends with the chemicals, because ile ya bei ngumu sana ndio daktari anakwambia hiyo itakusaidia. Wewe chukua hii ya 3000, ni kama hiyo ya 500 haijakusaidia. And we must understand that the drug medication is the most expensive business that patients doesn't know. Now, drug medication is a witchcraft from the papacy. It was the aim of Satan that through the use of foods that are the food that cannot nourish the system and the drug medication. Now, this was to clear the race of the human race without making decision. So a way that today Satan is using is through hospitals, so that these people take drugs that are going to leave their body in a situation that they cannot even do what? Have time to read their Bible, have time with God. We must understand that very well. Sick people who take this drug poison do appear get well. I don't want to repeat myself. Let me just go to the next step. And in the same page, there is a picture that say no to drugs. Let me just go to the next slide. What happens when you take drugs? If a poisonous drug is introduced into the system or into the body, immediately the body arouse, the body stop, process, and fight the disease. Now, immediately the poison has entered into the system, the body will leave the work the work that it was doing to fight the poison. When drug is introduced to the body, it enfeebles the organs. We must understand that one very well. When a person becomes sick, his organ be weary and overloaded with toxins. Disease is an effort of nature to cleanse the body toxins. Now, the same page also say no to drugs. The next slide. Now, after we have learned that now drugs are not the best solution to our life. Now, what is now the best solution that we are going to give the world? And as we understand that the right term of the gospel is medical missionary work, because many people today are suffering, and everywhere people are diseased. In the book of Jeremiah 46 verse 11, now we enter into the balm of Gilead. We want to see the God's way of treating the body. We have realized and we have learned that there is a better way that God led man to eat good food, which was grains, vegetables, anything that grow from the land. And we must understand that we should eat our food as what? We should eat food as, but not medicine as what? Because today many people are eating medicine as asubuhi mtu anameza dawa sijui nani kila siku. Now they eat medicine as food. But our food should be what? Our medicine. In the book of Job chapter 28 verse 5, to confirm that our food should come from the what? From the Job chapter 28 verse 5. Can we read there? Verse 5 says, Now, from the ground, that cometh the what? The bread. So our food should come from the what? The earth. Our food should come from the earth. And that's why the health message is being preached, that each and every person that is waiting for second coming of Christ must be what? A health reformer. In the book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 9, as the third angel closes, we are being told that the health reformation is connected with the third angel message. Because those who are going to eat the right food, they are going to have good blood, and also they are going to have a clear brain. Today, why many people are not understanding the gospel that is being preached to the world is they eat food that benumbs the what? The brain. So from food we eat is going to help us to make right decisions. So if we eat food that will help the system, even the blood that is going to be made from that food is going to help the system, and we are going to have the clear blood. Jeremiah 46 verse 11 says, go up into Gilead and take balm, O virgin, the daughter of Egypt. Today, we are being told that in vain, many people have done what? They have used many medicines. Each night and day, medicines are being brought into the market. They are being advertised, but in vain, people are taking them, but it is not also helping them. Now, there is a way that God would like man to go. That is now doing what? The better way of treating the body is now taking the right remedy into the system, and keeping the 8 laws of health and also the 10 commandments. For thou shalt not be cured. So, as many people are going to continue taking medicines and not understanding the right way of treating the body, it is in vain and they will not recover from the diseases they are. So, we have a great work to do to warn the world as we present them the work that Christ did. Isaiah chapter 58, verse 4. It says, Behold, mhm, mhm, 54, 53, verse 4, sorry. It says, surely Christ, he hath borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we did esteem him stricken. Amen. Now Christ bore our infirmities, so that we might live not in bondage, but we might live freely. The next slide, Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 21. Now, when there is no doctor, how does God fail when there is no doctor and why there is no true medication to the world? How is God feeling when his people are being medicated in the chemicals that totally destroy the system, and many people have lost themselves without making decision to follow Christ, right? It says, uh-huh, uh-huh. Now, God is saying that is his heart. Why? Because his people are not rightly being medicated. Continue reading. Now, that is a question that when there is no doctor, did God give direction? And God is asking a question that is there no balm in Gilead? Is there no physician there? Now, that's a question that is linked to us, but that's a question that each and every place we live, is there no doctor there? Really, as we ask the question, is there no doctor or is there no balm? That is a question. Because we are being told that people are suffering each and every place. Can you read that book, 70 Testimony to the Church, volume 7, page 62, paragraph 3? We try to ask this question, that in this time that we claim there is no doctor, what's our responsibility? That God is asking us that have we done or have we done the work that he commissioned us? Because as Christ sent his 12 disciples, he sent them to go and heal the sick and preach the gospel. And us today, are we doing the same work or we are just on the theory side? Because the time that we are entering, as the third angel message is closing, we are being told that a door of gospel message is going to be closed. But how are we going to access those who will be warned? Read. Paragraph 3 reads. Uh-huh. We are being told that the work of medical missionary is going to open many doors. And now that's the major question, that is there people waiting? That's the cause of now that there is no doctor or there is no balm rates. Wherever you are, you can begin at once. So, pause kidogo. We are being told that in the time that we live, we have a short time to Sunday law. And as the teacher of prophecy will be showing us how close is the Sunday law, and we are going to understand that it's a great work we need to do before this short period. And every and each person must understand this call. Because the same book that we are reading, paragraph 1, it says that each and every member of the church will become what? Medical missionary. And now there is a question that will you take the gospel? Read. It says, now we are being told that in this short period, we still have opportunities. A time is coming when we will not even have what? Public evangelism, door to door, which in some areas they have started closing. Now, the opportunity that is within our reach, we should use it very well. Read. The work should be done in your home and where? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Amen. Now, each and every person have individual responsibility to accomplish the work that Christ began. Is there no balm in Gilead? Is there no physician there? That is the same question that we will be asking ourselves throughout this topic when there is no doctor and we understand our call. While then is not the health of the daughter of my people recovered. So we will begin from here. I want to allow this time to I want to give this time for addition and some inputs because my time is really running and it is almost up. Allow me give this time to the class. Also, okay, I'm just going to pray. Then I give time for question and inputs. Now allow me pray. Our Father, what in heaven, we thank you for this wonderful evening. We thank you for having led us this far. Indeed, there is a great responsibility that is awaiting us so that we might preach this gospel to the whole world, to the whole nation, to the whole languages. Give us, Father, give us strength to do this work, Father. Help us to be practical medical missionaries because you promise that is the right hand of the gospel and it is also an entering which many places that have message have been closed, you have given us direction. Help us throughout this period as we work for thee until you come in Jesus' name. Amen. Allow me text some question and inputs, and I promise that next time we start in time that we give enough